GTE and LMP3 Series 2019, gara 2, action! Monza has always a special atmosphere. In Italy it's usual, everybody's coming, the cousins, the families, brothers, everybody will be here. But for me it's a great pleasure to show my family and my friends what we are doing. Oh, the driving is so fascinating. It's not similar to no other track. It's called the Temple of Speed for a reason. You have to drive very precise. You're coming very fast to the braking points. If you miss it for 5 meters, it's already wrong and you pay immediately very high. To drive with a Ferrari and have all the tifosi here is amazing. It's incredibly emotional.
Welcome to Monza for round 2 of the 2019 European Le Mans Series. We're just 1 month away from the 24 Hours of Le Mans, where 14 of our ELMS cars will be participating, and this is going to be their final outing before the big event. So we asked some of the teams how important it is for them to race at this high-speed 5.8-kilometre track on the lead-up to Leisha.
It's a different track surface and a different track layout. Here there's a lot more braking into slow speed chicanes, where in Le Mans the chicanes down the Mulsanne, as you know, are much quicker speed. But there is some similarities with the tarmac. So as a track, there's really here in Aragon that you can prepare for Le Mans.
It's a quick track. Le Mans is quicker, but there is the big top speed, and we are already working on the setup, and we know that a lot of philosophy of what we use today, we will have it for Le Mans.
In ELMS you've got LMP2s, P3s, GTs, so it's good practice in traffic at high speed, under heavy braking, quite similar to the 24-hour conditions.
There's so many prototypes here in the ELMS. Definitely you're watching your mirrors even more than WEC, and yeah, definitely that helps for prepare for Le Mans.
For comfort, you do a lot of work here as a driver as well. Monza's quite bumpy, so you can adjust your seat. It's really important to feel good in the car in a long stint in the 24 hours. The first race of the new season produced an intriguing GTE podium with 2 new Ferraris in the top 3, winners Lucic Racing and Kessel's number 83. Among the established frontrunners, only Dempsey Proton with 3rd place really delivered. So for the likes of them and JMW Motorsport and Spirit of Race, Monza will be all about trying to find that lost front-running pace.
Actually, I like Monza quite well. It was the first racetrack I raced ever in my life, so a few years ago, but I still remember Monza, and it's always a pleasure to come here. We had a good race in public car, so we are quite happy with the result and the podium, and for sure we are fighting for the podium again.
Obviously, it's a learning experience for myself and for Wei. It's a new car, new tracks, new series, new everything. To be 4th place after the first race with so much learning, I guess it's not so bad, but we want more, hungry for more. So for me, to try and find a better comfort level with this car and these tires, and we'll see. But this track's completely different from Le Castellet, so completely different skill set required, and let's see what we can do.
Le Castellet was solid, if not spectacular, and yeah, Monza, we have very good memories of last year after winning, and the previous year I was on the pole position, so definitely it's a good track for R55, and it's a place I love personally, but the competition this year in the European Le Mans Series is very tough, so we'll do our best and we'll see.
Red colours of Ultimate, the Norma chassis was unbeatable in Le Castellet. In second with their Leisha, Euro International did a superb job considering that they couldn't use their own car seized by French authorities around contractual issues outstanding from last year. In Monza, the American team will also be forced to race another customer car.
Now second loan car, let's say, this weekend, so another one than Le Castellet, but it's driving well and we are getting the setup fine-tuned at the moment. The Ultimate car was really fast in Le Castellet. We know the first two tracks is not made for the Leisha car, so we try to collect as many points as possible. If we can get at least a top 3 position this time, I think we have the best base to for the next 4 races in the championship.
Among the other Ligiers, last year's runners-up, the number 13 Inter Europol car, lies third in the championship, and they aim to keep that pace. Fellow Ligier runners 360 Racing also believe Monza will be about damage limitation up against the Normas.
We struggled at the beginning of the week in Le Castellet, but the end result was not too bad. Between me and Martin, we had pretty good race pace and consistent, which is what brought us back up the field. So yeah, we're looking for a better weekend here for sure. Everyone's here to win the title, and it's not about race by race, it's consistency, it's championship points, and it's just being up there as well as you can all the way through.
Le Castellet was a tough weekend for us, not the result we wanted. We knew that Le Castellet and Monza are going to be certainly more favourable for the Normas a little bit with the straight line speed they have. And then from Monza onwards, hopefully things will be closer between the Normas and the Ligiers, and Barcelona and Silverstone should suit our car more. So looking forward to the season.
There's a new face in Oregon's LMP3 team, Lithuanian Gustas Grindbergas. At just 16 years of age, he is the youngest ever ELMS driver. A straight-talking teenager, he knows exactly what he's racing for.
Racing is a way of life. I've been doing it for more than half my life. I think we're all equal on track. Doesn't matter how old you are, you're still racing the same way, and nobody else is gonna look at you on track different just because you're 16. I'm aggressive with the wheel, definitely, but that just comes naturally from karting. You have to adapt, and especially in endurance racing when it's free of you in the car and you cannot set it up for one driver. And that's a skill that hopefully I'm going to learn even better throughout the year. I always wanted to do endurance racing. I think it's very fascinating how many classes can be on the same track at the same time and at day and night. I think that's incredible, and it shows how awesome motorsport can be. And you're also not fighting for 20 seats, you're fighting for a lot more. It's a better path and a more realistic path. The target is to win, but if not winning, then I think a podium finish in the overall standings would be very good. Hopefully you'll see me at Le Mans next year or in a few years' time, and hopefully you'll see me there on the top step of the podium.
Dragon Speed won the season opener last month at Paul Ricard, marking a welcome return to form for the American team and a great reward for Aussie James Allen, new to the squad. He's eager for more success.
You always want to win to in the LMS. It's always like a target for every team up and down the paddock. So yeah, I mean, we're just trying to do our best and see what we can do.
Second in France and in the points was IDEC Sports' number 28 machine, another strong contender, but one still hunting for that elusive first win. A win would definitely be nice. Things went well in Le Castellet. Wouldn't say it was a clean race. We made a few mistakes, but the result was good. Second from second on the grid. Now Monza, well, that was IDEC Sports' first ever podium last year, so a little step up to the top, that would be nice. From pit stop training to free practice sessions to Kane Engineering, another French team looking for a first win have done everything they can coming into Monza. Third at Paul Ricard, they've added Richard Bradley to the driving strength this year.
I think even though they were a rookie team last year, they clearly showed that they knew what they were doing, which is one of the major reasons we've come together and we both share the same ambition. We want to win, and it's a nice team because they're very young. They're willing to learn, and we're all still learning. But I think that together we're going to have a very successful season.
It's special. Looks how many people are here, so that's why Monza is always special. And even more special because if we drive Ferrari, so you feel really the loving for this amazing brand. And yes, it's amazing to see this amount of people, and we look forward to have a good race.
It's incredible. Everybody's having a great time, lots of smiles. We have a beautiful day and a lot of excitement for the race for sure.
Very excited to drive in our circuit because we are the Italian team. They are very, very hot, warm, so we enjoy the crowd.
Oh, the Italian fans are fantastic. We're just saying how many there are. This is wonderful. And we're running out of signature cards. We're signing as fast as we can. I can't even look up and say thank you. We're going so fast. It's wonderful.
Ciao guys!
Ciao! I love it. It's I have a good care for the Italians, and the Italians I think for me. I raced here a long time. Actually, I lived in Italy in the past. Always a lot of people, and we're fortunate that it's not raining, so it helps.
Incredible, great to be back in the LMS. Been 3 years away, and fantastic to be back with an Italian car in the Dallara. So hopefully we can do the home fans proud and get the car up the front. We had a good qualifying session yesterday, and hopefully an improved race today.
Wow, I didn't expect this much. I mean, it's beautiful.
In 2 rounds for Matteo Cairoli and Dempsey Proton Racing, but Matteo, tyre management had a key part to play in Le Castellet and who won the race. So can you get the advantage over Ferrari here in Monza?
But actually, I think it's not the same in Paul Ricard. I mean, here tyre management is a little bit different, so we don't have to take care so much of the tyres because we don't have so many corners like in Paul Ricard. We have a good car, we are confident for the race. So that's a good spirit, and I'm pretty sure that we can achieve a good result today.
celebrated his 18th birthday on Friday. And Luca, what a great start to your birthday weekend with pole position. Can you turn that into a win?
Let's hope for. We work hard for the pole position. We have the pace in full fuel, middle fuel and low fuel, so let's see what happens.
Who put the Cool Racing car on pole position yesterday. Nico, the team have done a fantastic job to get you all here.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, second LMP2 race and be here on such a strong field, it's pretty amazing. So very happy about what they did. And we tried to do a good job today as well, which is the most important. But, you know, the team is improving session after session. So we are really happy so far with the progress they made.
And how is it on this fantastic track of Monza?
It's nice. I mean, the atmosphere is great around here. You are driving into the Lesmo, Ascari and everything. That's such a beautiful corners, really high speed as well, big braking points. So, and the fans, they came with a lot of fun today. So, no, we are looking forward to this race.
We had everything going on in the race here last year, so who knows what's going to happen today in the 4 Hours of Monza. We're all ready, so let's go racing.
Field rolls away here at Monza, ready for the 4 hours, led by poleman Alexandre Coigny for Cool Racing. G-Drive's Roman Rusinov will start alongside. On board on row 14 with Martin Hipper, he's got his own teammate Sam de Jonge alongside. We are rolling and ready to go for the 4 Hours of Monza. Round 2 of the 2019 European Le Mans Series gets underway. Alexandre Coigny for Graf Racing jumps early now. Was he in front at the line? Whatever, he's got a good run down into the first chicane and he will take the lead from Alexandre Coigny. Roman Rusinov, the orange and black G-Drive car, being cautious. He's in third place. Lots of tyre smoke. Everybody checking up and the car loops around already. That's John Falp in the Algarve Pro machine. Little eager on the gas on cold tyres, perhaps there's just a hint of moisture on the track still after overnight rain. Down to the Roger Rusinov on the inside, looking for second place, trying to go by Alexandre Coigny, didn't quite make it. Still very traction limited. Damp patches and cold tyres here at Monza. The Autodromo Nazionale is never to be taken lightly. Alexandre Coigny, the race leader for Graf, from Coigny, the poleman. Rusinov third. 21 Dragon Speed car, James Allen in fourth place. Our winners, of course, last time out. There's the black nose with the stars and bars up it. That is the Dragon Speed 21 car. So they'll start now to just breathe a fraction after a frantic, fast opening lap. But Alexandre Coigny is absolutely flying. Roman Rusinov now pulls out of the slipstream, down to the Primo Variante. That's job done. He's alongside. He's got the racing line. Unless he completely overcooks it under braking, he's through into second. And Alexandre Coigny for Cool Racing allows him to go through. Coigny, the poleman, down to third, under pressure now from James Allen's black car. The 21 machine looking outside as they turn into Curva Grande, and that's to try and cut back on the inside on the run through on the exit, but he won't have enough steam there. He'll be on the racing line, down into the Roger, massive lock up, but James Allen goes through, and again, that's pretty heads up racing from the Cool Racing driver. He knew the challenge was coming. Let's take a look again at the start. Not the fastest getaway from the Kessel Racing Ferrari, was it? But making sure he didn't overtake rivals before the line. But Alexandre Coigny from Graf Racing was right on the edge. Almost picked up a penalty for his ambitious start. Completed the job into the chicane. On board with Martin Hipper. Pretty busy, always a couple of cars dive down the escape road. And there's the spinner. Back on the straight, Bruno Senna pulls out of the slipstream of the Cool Racing car. That's a change for fifth. Further back, another battle. Anders Fjord back with the yellow nose. Trying to come around Leonard Hogenboom. Bottom of the top 10. They're still wheel to wheel at the chicane, but he doesn't get through. Here are the leaders in GTE. Christian Reed for Dempsey Proton. Fabien Laverne from 7th in class, ahead of Egidio Perfetti's Project 1 Porsche. And Laverne for Lucic Racing. Now, they won in Paul Ricard in ELMS. They were 3rd in Michelin Le Mans Cup. They won yesterday in Michelin Le Mans Cup here in Monza. What a season the new team is having. And battling the 2 Porsches for the lead here in Ferrari's sacred home ground, the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. Oh, again, Perfetti, he's got the grip, but he couldn't get the move done. Straight lines the Roger, he'll have to give that place back. He'll actually lose his ground to Fabien Laverne, who keeps the pressure on the leader, Christian Ried. Alexandre Coigny down to the Roger, lot of tyre smoke from the right front. I wonder if that car really has got a problem. Trouble at the first chicane, that's Duncan Cameron and Manuela Gosner. What happened? Wei Lu in the JMW Ferrari all hits Cameron, knocks him around, and Manuela can't avoid the stationary car. Battle for second place, Roman Rusinov in the black and orange G-Drive. James Allen right behind for Dragon Speed. Pulls out of the slipstream. He's got a long run down to the Parabolica. Right behind Pierre Rag for Duquesne Engineering. He was looking to go inside for 3rd. Rusinov down to 3rd. Rag is right behind him though. And he had a good run down the straight as well. Dragon Speed move up to 2nd. G-Drive down to 3rd, and here comes the pass. Pierre Rag pulls out early, but Rusinov got a tow from Duncan Cameron's delayed Ferrari. Not enough. Up to 3rd goes Pierre Rag. Rusinov down to 4th, and Bruno Senna is right behind that 55 Ferrari as well, homing in on Rusinov.
Drive-through penalty on car 66 for causing a collision with car 55 at T1, T2.
Roman Rusinov in the background, still under pressure. Bruno Senna, 43, RLR M Sport, trying to go round him. The Russian versus the Brazilian. And Senna couldn't get the move done there. Duquesne Engineering car not too far in front. Wei Lu goes in for his drive-through, so he's out of the way. But they are in GT traffic. Rusinov goes by an LMP3 car, and Senna can't. He's going to lose a few car lengths as he's held up briefly by Nobuya Yamanaka of Japan in the Nielsen car. Now he's on his way again. Oh, Anders Fjordbach, that's the high-class racing car. That's the exit of Ascari. What happens here? Christian Ried spins. Oh, and Fjordbach spins in avoidance. That's really tough luck for Anders Fjordbach and high-class racing. They were in the top 10 overall. Fabien Laverne, 51, the red. What else? Ferrari from Lucic Racing is our GTE leader. From the black and yellow Project 1 Porsche of Egidio Perfetti. The Project 1 Porsche qualified 2nd in class behind the pole-sitting Dempsey Proton car. The Ferrari only 7th fastest in qualifying, but it looks as though they have got good race trim. He cannot shake off Perfetti, however. This could be a race-long battle. Drifts out very wide. Here's a chance for the Porsche. Good traction, a great slingshot onto the straight. He's going to have to pull out early though, so Egidio Perfetti will not want to pull back in front of Fabien Laverne to give away a tow. Wheel to wheel. This is going to be the last of the late breakers. Perfetti with about half a splitter in hand, but Laverne on the racing line. Egidio Perfetti turns in with the lead. Well, now then, can he run away from the Ferrari? Does the Porsche actually have more race pace? Only time will tell us. Multi-class prototype racing in the middle of the LMP3 battle here, or coming from behind, is Paul Lafargue. And he goes by Oregon's Damiano Fioravanti. He's chasing the ultimate car of Jean-Baptiste Lay. That's the number 17 machine. There's Gustas Grimbergas in the Oregon team box. Jean-Baptiste Lay saying, we've started with the pressures too high. The car is sliding a lot. Do your best. Looks like Graf Racing set the tyre pressures perfectly for race leader Alexandre Cuno. It's always a little bit of a gamble in cool, slightly damp conditions. He's leading, but not by much. James Allen right behind, and again, looks like Dragon Speed have done a great job guessing how the tyres needed to be set before the race. Too hard and you slide around, too soft and you wear them quickly. Battle for the lead then, nose to tail. James Allen down the inside and through he goes. takes the lead away from Graf Racing. Half an hour on the clock, 3.5 hours to go. Look at Kuno though, comes right back at James Allen immediately, underneath him through Curva Grande. He's got the drier, grippier racing line for the Graf car, and James Allen on the outside, there's contact. That could have been a huge accident. You do not have a small one on the outside of Curva Grande, and Allen skating off the Rogia. I'm not sure he'll be best pleased with somebody trying to edge him onto the grass right there. That battle is going to have to wait. James Allen is heading into the pits to hand the car over at dragon speed. Henrik Hedman will take over as Alexandre Cuneau remains the leader for Graf. So Hedman runs round to jump in, and Aussie James Allen is out of the car. That means Louise Beckett can catch up with him, find out what he thought of that move.
I passed Alex on the inside of turn 1 and got a bit of a compromised exit. I slid out a bit, and Alex was mega coming out of the chicane, and we were side by side coming around Curva Grande, and I don't know, he just came out a bit far. Maybe he didn't realize that I was still next to him.
Black and white flag, car 39 for causing a contact with car 21.
It's just a warning for the moment, so they dodge a bullet. 39 Graf Racing car comes into the pits as the race leader. Off goes Roman Rusinov, double stinting in the G-Drive car, trying to make sure they lose as little time as possible in the pits and rejoining a very busy track. IDEC Sport telling Patrice Lafargue they're giving it Eric Maris's tyres. New on the left from qualifying on the right, and be careful to get the tyre temperature up before he goes hard on the brakes. Into Europol, fueling their 34 car for Jakub Śmierkowski. Battle for third place, Roman Rusinov on Henrik Hedman. Rusinov stayed in the G-Drive car, fully up to speed, and Henrik Hedman just taken over from James Allen at dragon speed. Close battle though, right behind one of the IDEC Sport cars. And bronze-rated Hedman chasing after Rusinov, who's now a gold-rated driver with all his experience. Trouble at the Roger. Oh, that's Sergio Campana. He's just taken over the BHK Motorsport car. Escapes from the gravel though, it looks like. Bit of rallycross. Nobuya Yamanaka for Nielsen Racing, the Japanese driver. Now he is firmly beached. And that going in backwards at the Rogia does not help. Down to the first chicane, LMP3 battles. Oh, big lock up there from Jean-Baptiste Lahaye in the ultimate car that won last time out in Le Castellet. Zigzagging through the chicane. Yamanaka being craned away. May well be the end of their race. LMP2 and LMP3 battles. Here's the race leader in LMP2, Alexandre Cuneau in the 39 Graf Racing car. And a couple of spots behind him on the road is Pierre Rag. Look for the dark colours, blue and black of Duquesne Engineering. There he is, sweeping their way through all these LMP3 machines, trying to pick up the slipstream. Claudio Schiavone in the pits for Kessel Racing. Fuel for Christian Reed in the 77 Dempsey Proton car. Car that led the early laps. 55 is in as well. Spirit of Race, Duncan Cameron handing over to Aaron Scott. Tyres going on to the Dempsey Proton car. Christian Reed came in sixth position. Stays in the car. I'm in the gravel. Lost the rear, but it's weird. And that is Patrice Lafargue at IDEC Sport.
3, 2, 1. Full course yellow. Full course yellow.
Everybody down on the 80-kilometre speed limit. And this might be an opportunity for pit stops for those that haven't stopped. Paul Lafargue comes in the 28 IDEC Sport car. Irony is the 27 car, the team car, is the one that caused the problem. Henrik Hedman is in, tops off with fuel. That's never a bad idea. Who knows what else is going to happen in this race. Monza was crazy last year. Heads back out in sixth place overall.
3, 2, 1. Green. Track is back to green.
Back to green and back to the inch-by-inch race for the lead. 39, Graf Racing. Alexandre Cuno with Pierre Rag in the number 30 Duquesne Engineering car right behind. They have been nose to tail at 80 kilometres an hour. You see the Duquesne car weaving to try and get heat into the tyres. He was not going to have a lunge into the parabolica there, was he? Leaders carving their way through traffic, P2 and P3 cars. Pierre Rag all over the back of Alex Cuno. It may not be a long time coming. Paul Lafargue further back. This is the battle for fifth, chasing Henrik Hedman down the straight. Lafargue in the tow. Will he pull out and dive on the brakes? He does. Will he get through? He just has it, yes. And Henrik Hedman lets him go wisely too. Defend too long, you compromise your own race. The IDEX Sport car had the advantage there. In the garage, Citilar Villorba Corsa. And looks as though they may be out for good here. Nobuya Yamanaka, well, he's testing out all the runoff areas here, isn't he? Down into the Variante Ascari. The Japanese driver goes straight across the gravel in the number 8 Nielsen Racing entry. Battle for 6, and again, Henrik Hedman is the target, this time for Jack Manchester in the Carlin Motorsport car. Carlin newcomers to endurance racing and ELMS this season. Into the pits comes the long-time race leader, Alexandre Cuno. This is all going very nicely for Graf Racing so far. He'll hand over to Swiss teammate Jonathan Hershey. And they are fully loaded with Tristan Gombardi also in the squad. It's a very quick, competent driver lineup. Fuel is in, driver is in, waiting for the tyres. LMP3 leader is David Drew. Drew for real-time racing. 17th place overall in this busy Monza pack. Your international second, Nielsen's number 7 car in third. Nielsen finishing third in a wet finale to the Michelin Le Mans Cup race as well. There's Mikkel Jensen for Euro International, chasing James Winslow in the 360 racing car, the red and black machine. Winslow drifts a little wide out of the parabolica. Nicolas Jamin and saying to Carlin, hit me. He was slower on the straight, looked like he was letting me through. When we arrived at chicane, he hit me in the back. I'm back on track, everything okay, he says. Sounds like a classic bit of confusion between the two drivers. Trouble at Ascari, that's a huge accident, and that is Nobuya Yamanaka, the Japanese Nielsen Racing driver again. This time I think the number 8 car will not get away with it, and look at this. Big impact, he got spat off the curbs on driver's right, sent straight across into the barriers on driver's left.
Safety car deploys.
Well, that will take a little bit of clear up. This could be a longish safety car. G-Drive handing over from Roman Rusanov to Job van Uitert under the safety car. That's not a bad call. Will Owen in the 32 United Autosports car. They're pitting as well. As long as you don't get caught as the safety car queue comes by, you should be all right. The Nielsen Racing car finally back on the truck.
Track is back to green. Track is back to green.
Battles all over the place. Felipe Albuquerque for United Autosports battling with Timothée Bouret, the Panis Barthez car just in the background. And the United car squeezes through. Job van Uitert at the head of that little queue. Bouret trying to fight back around the outside of Albuquerque in the Lesmos, drifts out very wide. The Algarve Pro 25 car is right there. So is Duquesne's Nicolas Jamin, 4-car queue. Felipe Albuquerque starting to pull away. Timothy Bouret under pressure now from Nicolas Jamin. Two Frenchmen, Duquesne Engineering chasing, Panis Barthez defending, Nicolas Jamin down the inside. Ooh, and there was a little touch there. Not sure where he thought Timothy Bouret was going to go in Ascari. Who's that idiot, says Jamin. Now, Bouret weaving down the straight. What's he doing, shouts Nico Jamin, who seems to have Sebastian Buemi's need to shout on the radio all the time. Well, he squeezes by, big lock up there, but through he goes. Well, he might be having words with Timothy Bray later. Right behind, though, is the Dragon Speed car. Battle for 5th in GTE, 2 Porsches in front, Project 1, that's Giorgio Roda, Ebby Motors, Fabio Babini, as we ride with Niklas Nielsen in the Lutic Racing Ferrari that led early on. Doesn't seem much to choose in the balance of power between Porsche and Ferrari here in Monza, and that's always good news. Well, there is the Project 1 car, Giorgio Roda just in front of compatriot Fabio Babini. Through comes the LMP2 United Autosports machine. And as we get to the midway point here at Monza, G-Drive lead from United, IDEC, and United's 22 car just off the podium in 4th. Real-time racing lead in LMP3 ahead of our last time winners Ultimate. M Racing currently in the pits, and in the GTE category everything is still up for grabs, as it is in the 2 prototype classes. J&W's Ferrari currently at the top of the greasy pole. The safety car and the full course yellow have changed around some of those fuel strategies though, so everything could yet change. Fantastic battle in prospect in GTE. Weilu taking over from Jeff Segal in the GTE leading JMW Ferrari. Fuel, tyres and driver change going on there. In is the Kessel Racing all-female crew as well. Michelle Gatting taking over from Manuela Gosner. LMP3, this is Mikkel Jensen, 6th for Euro International's number 11 machine. That was the 2nd place car at Paul Ricard, the season opener. But after trouble in qualifying, they started at the back of the grid here. So showing great speed again in the LMP3 category. GTE battle, Weilu for JMW, Giorgio Roda behind him, and look at the queue catching them all. There's Giorgio Roda in the Project 1 car, doesn't get through. 55, the green and white car, that's Aaron Scott. Then you've got the 83 car, Michelle Gatting, Fabio Babini for Ebby Motors, that's the Porsche on the back of the queue, and in the traffic behind was Niklas Nielsen in the Lutic Racing Ferrari. Now here's a good solid effort from Giorgio Roda for 2nd place, down the inside of Weilu into the Roggia, and through he goes, on board with Michelle Gatting, through the Roggia, chasing Aaron Scott. Class leader Matteo Cairoli, 77 Dempsey Proton car, that's about 30 seconds up the road from this battle, and that gap may well be growing. Fantastic action here, but they are losing track of the leader. There's Raoul Frey, she'll take over the 83 Kessel car and the all-female crew at the end. Now here comes Fabio Babini, the Ebby Motors Porsche. Good run through Curva Grande, and look behind, look at the red and white Ferrari coming as well. That's Niklas Nielsen for Lutic. Babini has a half stab at Michelle Gatting, doesn't get through, and suddenly he's got Nielsen's Lutic Racing Ferrari all over him, trying to come the long way around the outside into Lesmo 1. Now that's not a recipe for success, and off has gone the number 3 car, Mike Gouache for United Autosports. Porsche 1-2 in GTE, the green and white Ferrari, that's the best Ferrari in 3rd, and here's a 3-way Ferrari, 4-way Ferrari Porsche battle for 4th. Down the inside, Michelle Gatting goes by Weilu, and Fabio Babini nearly does as well. Applause from Rahel Frey. Battle for 6th position now, JMW's Ferrari slipping down the order. Through goes Lutic Racing, Niklas Nielsen puts the pass in on Weilu. Dempsey Proton, Team Project 1, 1-2 for Porsche, and look at all this action. And as fuel back with the yellow and red car steaming through, down into the first chicane. Oh, and Fabio Babini having a look, but he gets caught by Nielsen, turned around. He was trying to get by Michelle Gatting, couldn't get it done, and loses a lot of ground. Race leader is Joop van Uytert for G-Drive. He and the team raced very successfully in the Spa 6 Hours World Endurance Race in the snow a couple of weeks ago. Now leading here in Monza in what are still clear, dry conditions. Excellent for racing. Into the pits comes the 83 Kessel Racing car. Rahel Frey finally takes over from Michelle Gatting, and they are poised perhaps to take a podium here. 27, IDEX Sport is in. Eric Maris opens the door. He wriggles out and Stefan Adler will take over. GTE leader comes to a halt. Matteo Cairoli boasting a 30-second advantage. Hands over to Riccardo Pera after Christian Ried did all his time early on in the race. 55 is in as well. Spirit of Race Ferrari. Driver and tyre change. Wholesale changes. Fabio Babini handing over to Marco Frezza at Ebi Motors. All changes. Project One now lead Lusic in GTE. It's hot work whether you're driving or working in the pits, or whether you're at brakes as well, it seems. The Oregon number 10 car coming in with brakes on fire. Trouble for Tony Wells.
No speedo or anything. It's an electrical failure.
He and Colin Noble finished third for Nielsen in the driving rain at the end of the Michelin Le Mans race on Saturday. Now a bit of a problem for the car, not related to water in the electrics perhaps. Back into the garage, could be a long stop. Trouble for the number 3 car, Mike Gouache, again in the gravel. He's gone off backwards in the Lesmos. Let's have a look. Does look like he just spun on his own, going in a little hot into Lesmo 2, and the second United car just avoids disaster, almost hit him. Leader in the pits.
3, 2, 1, full course yellow, full course yellow.
Well, if G-Drive weren't coming in right then, they have timed that perfectly. Fantastic work to take advantage of the full course yellow.
Green, track is back to green.
Back to green flag racing, still an hour to go and lots of battles to be decided. This is for third in the GTE Pro class. Alessandro Pierguidi in the 51 Ferrari with Marco Frezza getting a great run out of the Parabolica in the Ebi Motors Porsche, but runs out of steam. The Ferrari's still there on the inside. The LMP3 car from Ultimate won't get in the way, and Alessandro Pierguidi keeps the 51 Ferrari's nose just in front in third. Paul Chatin for IDEX Sport in traffic. Oh, little touch with Konstantin Tereshchenko under braking for the Parabolica. That was close. Paul Chatin chasing Alex Brundle, the 32 United Autosports car in second place. IDEX Sport in third. And Alex Brundle carving his way through traffic. Busy racetrack. P2, P3 and GTE cars. Paul-Luc Chatin at the back of this little train. Paul-Luc Chatin down the straight. Alex Brundle with the inside line. He's going to hold that line. Chatin tries to lean on him. Brundle goes, no chance. But Paul-Luc Chatin, the IDEX Sport car, looks to be quicker than the 32 United machine. I'm sure he's going to try again. Here we come, down to the Parabolica. Paul-Luc Chatin gets a great drive out of the Variante Ascari. Can he hold on? Yes, he does. Sweeps around the nose of Alex Brundle for second position. Contact in traffic. The Ultimate 17 car, Francois Heriot, trying to go inside Andrea Piccini in the Kessel Racing number 60 Ferrari. And contact down there at Variante Ascari, all but inevitable. He rode the curbs on the way in, he was out of control. Both drivers losing time and ground. Francois Heriot gets going again. No, he doesn't. He's in the gravel. Can't move. Really mad with himself, that was. Driver error.
3, 2, 1, full course yellow, full course yellow.
Final 24 minutes. Who is going to dive for the pits now? Another opportunity. If you needed fuel, this is almost a free stop. Euro International's number 11 machine is in. Jens Pedersen getting on board. Let me go, he says. I'm ready. And he is down and done. Number 11 car chasing a good result here after a tricky qualifying session. Kessel Racing's Rahel Frey heading for the pits. Luckily, Paul-Luc Chatin worked that out before going up the inside.
We have a car in the race line at T11. Pair left at T11. Pair left at T11.
That's the race leader, Norma in the G-Drive car, just avoids the 34 into Europol machine that was stranded in the Parabolica, and just as well because he was coming on to the final lap of the race here in Monza. What a huge blow that would have been if he'd made contact with that stranded car. Norma for G-Drive then, heading around in late afternoon sunshine here at Monza. The team are ready to celebrate, taking nothing for granted. But Nato is going to take them through to the checkered flag. It'll be victory for G-Drive. They started on the pole at Paul Ricard and finished fourth. They started second here. They claimed their first win of the season in the ELMS, and with it, the points lead. Second place for IDEX Sports, Paul-Luc Chatin after a dramatic race, and victory in GTE for the 77 Dempsey Proton Porsche. And what a result for Euro International. The number 11 car comes from the back of the grid to take LMP3 victory. Jens Pedersen looks delighted with that, and so he should. G-Drive the winners from IDEX Sport, who started from the back after losing their qualifying times. United score Leisha's first LMP2 podium of the year. Euro International also come back to front, and they now are the points leaders, while Porsche win in GTE, denying Ferrari the top step of the podium on home soil. Fourth in Paul Ricard, second in the WC race in Spa, and it's now victory for G-Drive.
It was a really great race, not an easy one because we had a different strategy. I think all the team did an amazing job. Job did really good thing, Norman as well. We won here last year, so we try the big one now, the next one. So I think this was a good preparation, and I think we showed that we can win again.
Roman Rusnov, Job van Uyten and Norman Nato, the winners from Paul Lafargue, Paul-Luc Chatin and Memo Rojas, Alex Brandel, Will Owen and Ryan Cullen completing the LMP2 podium for United and Ligier. And with victory, G-Drive moved to the top of the LMP2 Championship leaderboard. IDEX Sports number 28 car in second. Dragon Speed, only 10th in Monza, slipped to third. Porsche looked strong from the start on Ferrari's home turf. Dempsey Proton took victory, but at least Christian Ried did have two Italian co-drivers.
It was a great race, it was great strategy and everything went well, and the guys did a very, very good job, so it's why we are here and we're really happy.
Christian Ried, Matteo Caroli and Riccardo Pera the winners from Jeff Sigel Welu and Matteo Crisoni for JMW. Alessandro Pierre Guidi, Nicholas Nielsen and Fabien Leburn, the winners in Le Castellet, claim third spot here. But Dempsey Proton have now sneaked into a 2-point lead in the standings. What a story Euro International have to tell after two races in two different cars. They had legal issues here, they had damage. Whatever's happened to them, they've turned it around and they have produced the goods once again with victory in Monza.
Another chapter in the book of what is so amazing about endurance racing here in the European Le Mans Series. Yesterday we lost the car completely, big crash. The team was incredible, it built it up, and my teammate Mikkel did a fantastic opening stint, and I had a clear double stint. Yeah, and here we are. It's great, it's amazing.
It is amazing. Hollywood scriptwriters would have thrown it out by now. Jens Pedersen and Mikkel Jensen win ahead of Martin Hippert and Nigel Moore, with Tommy Erdős, Garrett Grist and Wayne Boyd completing the podium for United Autosports. Despite their trials and tribulations, Euro International are the 10-point leaders over the number 13 car for Inter Europol, while retirement here means that our Le Castellet winners ultimate slide to third.
Yo, check this out.
Your first choice is a Monza Classic. After a good run from the exit of the Parabolica, Nicolas Jamin attacking Timothy Beret down the main straight. Beret keeping him over the white line, making sure he makes it as hard as possible. Jamin, though, braves it out to take the place into the first chicane. Fortune favours the brave at Ascari for the lead. Fabien Laverne dives inside Christian Ried, who runs out of traction and has fueled back the unfortunate bystander. End of the race, battle for second place, all about the nerves. Paul-Luc Chatin heads to the Parabolica. Great run out of Ascari. And he'll be right on the limit of adhesion as he goes around the outside of Alex Brundle. Brave stuff indeed. A move that finally decided the last two podium places. Well worthy of your consideration. And if you can pick the bones from that lot, vote now.
Congratulations to all of our winners here in Monza. For some of them, they're heading to the 24 Hours of Le Mans next month. And for LMS, we will see you on the 20th of July from Barcelona. We're heading back there after 10 years. And for this one, we're racing from day into night, so it's going to be a good one. Don't miss it.